What's up, y'all? If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tyann Watson, and I am a licensed realtor in the state of South Carolina. I currently service the Columbia and Fort Jackson area. So if you or anyone that you know are maybe moving here, moving from here, PCSing to or from here, then I'm your homegirl. But wait, Tyann, what if I don't live in South Carolina? What if I don't live in Columbia, but I still want to buy or sell a house? I am still your homegirl because my geographical network expands across all 50 states and I can connect you to a realtor in your area. Now that the shameless plug is out of the way, if you clicked on this video, it's probably because you yourself are probably looking to buy or sell a house. In that case, you more than likely, highly recommend, by the way, are going to hire a realtor like myself or a real estate agent as well. Because yes, there is a difference between a real estate agent and a realtor. And if you're going to be hiring a realtor or a real estate agent, there are some things that you're going to want to make sure that you ask them. And that's coming from a realtor myself. So if you're trying to figure out the 5 questions that you should be asking your realtor, whether you're buying or selling a home, just keep watching. Okay, so I have this kind of split up into 2 lists. So we have the buyer side and the seller side. The first couple questions are going to be the same whether you're buying or selling, right? But I have 5 questions for each side, 5 main questions. Obviously, you want to make sure you're asking more than that, but these are the 5 things that me being a licensed realtor think that it's important for you as the client to access. We're going to go ahead and start with the buyers. So if you're a buyer, especially if you are a first-time buyer, first question that you want to ask your realtor is, what's the market like? What are homes going for? Like how long is it taking to close on a home these days? Is there anything coming? Is there are they building any mega domes or any, what does the city have planned for this neighborhood that I'm hoping to live in? Like, your realtor is supposed to be an expert in their market. So therefore, you want to verify that they are in fact an expert in the market. So ask them, what's the market like? Chances are, if they can't answer that, next. The second thing that you as a buyer should be asking your realtor is, what are their business hours? Because, okay, if you guys have been following my channel, you know that my husband and I just closed on our first home a couple months ago. So we too were buyers, first time buyers at that. However, now that I'm a realtor, there are some things that I wish I would have done differently. And I would have asked my realtor, what were her business hours? Because as clients, although we love you guys dearly and we are honored genuinely to earn your business, baby, please don't think you can call my phone at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. or at 9 p.m. or at 10 p.m. Now, if it's an emergency, obviously that's something we can work through. But baby, not gonna happen. So you want to make sure that you're asking your realtor what are their business hours, so you know between what time and what time they should be readily available to you. As a buyer, the third thing that you should be asking your realtor is, what is their commission rate? Now, I will say that as a buyer, more than likely you will not have to pay your realtor. Your realtor would get paid from the seller side of the transaction. However, some states are adopting new laws that the buyers have to pay for their own agents. Or in the event that your state is not adapting those type of laws, if the seller's agent, for some reason, which isn't common, decides that they are not going to compensate the buyer's agent, then you, yes, you, the buyer's agent, will be responsible for paying your realtor, because we are here to service you guys. But baby, we got bills too. And are you working for free? Right. So you always want to make sure that you know what your buyer's commission rate is in the event that you have to come out of pocket for it. The fourth thing that you as a buyer should be asking your agent is how much money you should have readily available. They are not going to be able to tell you, oh, you need X, Y, and Z, or you need X amount, but they should be able to give you a good enough ballpark number. Again, if they are an expert in their market, they'll know. If we're in a buyer or a seller's market, it makes a difference. So if we're in a buyer's market, maybe your down payment could be a little bit less. However, if we're in a seller's market like we currently are in now in April of 2022, buyers have to come to the transaction with quite a bit of coins, because the seller's market means that there is more people trying to buy homes than there are homes actually available for them to buy. So that means for every one home, there's multiple buyers trying to buy that home. So in order for your offer to stand out, you guessed it, you're going to have to throw more money in the pot. So you see how knowing the market affects how much money that you should have readily available? Exactly. Those are the type of things that your realtor should be able to inform you on. And the last thing that you as a buyer should be asking your realtor is what you should be looking for when comparing lenders. Because your realtors should always have their preferred, or their recommended, I should say, lenders. And if you don't know what a lender is, it's just a fancy term for a bank or a financial institution, aka whoever is giving you the money to buy this home. Your realtor should have a list of lenders that they worked with, be able to give you a little bit of information about all of them. You are always, always recommended and welcome to use your own preferred lenders. However, your realtor should be able to tell you what you need to be looking for from each lender that relates to your specific situation. And those are the 5 things that you as a buyer, especially a first-time buyer, should be asking your realtor. Now, for the sellers. Like I said, the first 2 are going to be the exact same as the list for the buyers. So the very first thing that you as a seller should be asking your realtor is, what is the market like? Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Because if it's a buyer's market, chances are you as the seller may have to come out of pocket for some of the buyer's closing costs, because a buyer's market means that there are more homes than there are people looking to buy homes. So therefore, you finally get someone to put an offer in on your home, you want to make sure that that deal closes. So you might end up having to throw some money the buyer's way. The second thing that you as a seller should be asking your realtor is, what are their business hours? Because communication is a little bit slightly less with sellers than it is buyers, only because if you have a buyer that's getting financing, there's a long period of time where you, the seller, are kind of just chilling, kind of just cruising. But in the event that something arises, a pipe bust or the appraisal comes in low, you are going to want to contact your realtor immediately. However, as I stated with the buyers, if it is an emergency, your realtor should absolutely get back to you immediately. However, certain things like scheduling photos or professional photography, professional videography of your home, those type of conversations can wait until business hours. So you want to make sure that you know what your realtor's business hours are, so that you can contact them within a reasonable amount of time. The third thing that you as a seller should be asking your realtor is, what kind of services do they offer? Do they have tailor-made packages, or is it kind of just one size fits all? Do they offer professional photography and videography, or cleaning services, or staging services? Do they offer any of these things at no additional cost to you? Because if you're trying to sell your home and somebody else is willing to pay for it, get pictures taken, and get somebody else to bring furniture in here to make it look good to help sell it, why wouldn't you take it? So you want to know what kind of services your realtor is going to be providing. How do they plan to market your home? All of those things you want to make sure you're asking, so you know what you have to come out of pocket for and what you don't. And just an additional tip, that will help your interviewing process while you're interviewing different agents. You'll be able to narrow it down a lot quicker, because you're obviously, as a seller, going to want to go with whichever realtor is offering the most services. But how would you know if you don't ask? And the fourth thing that you as a seller should be asking your realtor is, what is their commission rate? Now, I know a lot of y'all are going to be real tempted to make that the very first thing you ask. Please don't. In my opinion, I can't speak for all realtors. In my opinion, it's a little bit rude. I know you guys want to get down to the nitty gritty. You want to find out what your bottom line is going to be. It's all about the money for you as a seller, respectfully and rightfully so. However, I just think it's a little ill-tasteful to start a conversation with, what is your commission rate? Because there's so many things that go into it. Like I said, what if this realtor offers a bunch of those services, but if you just ask them what their commission rate is and they tell you and you think that's too high, but you haven't even asked what they offer, then to you it may seem like the realtor's not worth that price, when in reality there's so much that goes into marketing and helping you sell your home that you don't get to see, or you didn't even give them a chance to explain. Also, as a seller, it's important to note when talking about commission rates, more often than not, your agent is going to be compensating the buyer's agent out of their commission. So whatever that percentage that they give you is, chances are they're only actually coming home with about half of that. And they're respectfully and rightfully compensating the buyer's agent on your behalf. And the last thing, the fifth thing that you as a seller should be asking your realtor is, what is your bottom line going to be? Your realtor should be able to crunch these numbers and give you a ballpark. I said ballpark. Please do not hold them to a specific dollar amount, but they should be able to roughly tell you, especially if you owe a mortgage on this home, or even if your mortgage is paid off, they should be able to tell you roughly about how much you will be bringing home. And as a seller, that's what it boils down to. How much money do you get to walk away with in your pocket? And those are the 5 questions that I feel like every buyer and seller should be asking your realtor. It's important to remember, as a realtor, we work for you. You can hire and you can fire us. We can also terminate a relationship. However, this person is going to be helping you either make or sell one of the biggest purchases you probably have ever made. So you want to make sure that you have a good rapport and a good relationship, because if you're a buyer, this realtor helped you buy your home, but let's say you're military and in 3 years it's time to sell. Your realtor should be making a good enough impression where there's no question in your mind. You're going to contact that exact same realtor that helped you buy that home to help you sell that home. And if you're a seller, you want to have that relationship with your realtor. That same realtor that helped you sell a home will help you buy your next home. And it's just how the cycle goes. It's all about relationships. It's all about rapport. And it's all about who you're comfortable with. I know the numbers are important, but you also want to have that genuine connection with your realtor. Your realtor should be readily accessible, should be knowledgeable, professional, and trustworthy. And that's all I have for y'all today. So if this video was helpful for you, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel, what are you doing? I drop a video every week. I am giving you the tools and tips on how you can build generational wealth. Right. So take a second and go ahead and subscribe. I'm gonna wait. Appreciate it. And while you're at it, go ahead and turn on your post notifications, because I do drop a video every week, and you're not gonna want to miss these tips and gems. For real, for real. If you want to keep up with me in real time, make sure you guys check out my podcast, The Melanated Mindset, where I talk about things like infertility, generational wealth, real estate, new mom struggles, marriage struggles, and everything in between. If you're not following me on socials, what are you doing? Follow me on Instagram right here. If you're not following me on Twitter, again, right here. And y'all know the vibes. I will see you here, same time, same place, next week. Peace, y'all.